Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this card making tutorial. Today we're going to be making a card using Anna Griffin's French collection of cardstock and papers and a few other embellishments that we find along the way. I shall put everything in the description box at the bottom. Please feel free to comment, and if you've got any questions please don't hesitate to ask. I'm going to start off with a 7x5 card base that I'm just going to make sure we've got a nice sharp fold along the edge. So next, I've already mat and layered one of the French collection papers onto a dark olive cardstock for the base of our card, and I've added double-sided tape just for quickness. So I'll peel my tape off and we're going to pop that on our card base. So just bear with me while I remove my tape, and we'll pop that central on our card. Oops, a little bit too high, but not to worry. So that's the basis of our card. The next thing I've already done is I've made two frames using the Spellbinders sets A and B. Sorry, I had to think then for a minute which one it was. Sets A and B in the 7x5 rectangles. So obviously if you're quite good at cutting out or measuring, you'll be able to do that yourself without using them. But I've just done it for quickness because I've already got the dies. So I've used again the dark cardstock underneath and then Anna's French collection paper above. And normally I would place that onto the card front like that. However, before we do that, what I've already made are some corners for our frame. Now I've used one of Anna Griffin's embossing folders, and as far as I can remember it was the Thistle Bouquet from the Garden Cuttings range, and I've made four corners in a cerise cardstock. I've embossed them and then I've made the corners. Now I know I've already got a tutorial on YouTube of how to make these corners, and over the next couple of demonstrations you're going to see these quite a lot. So I've already scalloped the edge as well for them. So all you have to do is literally attach them to your frame or your layer that you're going to use them on. So I've already added tape on the back of them. Now because they're quite loose and I want them to look like an embellishment, I don't want them flat. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on the inside at the bottom of the actual corner. So instead of it being at the top, and it is just a touch of glue, and I'm literally then just going to pop it onto the corner of my frame. I'll squeeze it for the glue to take hold underneath, and I've already added the tape for the corner. This is where you need 6 hands, because obviously I want to do them all and I want you to be able to see them all go on, but I don't want it to stick to anything underneath. So I'll just peel my tape off. We'll do it this way. Just hold that down for the glue, and then as I put each one on, you'll see when we've done, as it builds up on the front, how pretty it looks. So I'll just pop that one on and take the tape off of this one, and then we've got the last one. So again, glue in the middle. They're really easy to make, the corners, and it's a good way of using all your scrap up. And obviously because everything coordinates through Anna's ranges, I'm sure you'll find it'll all match with items that you've already got. So I'll just peel the tape off the back of that one. Oh, we've lost one. That's what I was afraid might happen. I'll just pop that one back on. And then I can pop my frame onto the top of the card with our corners. And that looks about straight. Very difficult looking through the lens at how straight something is. So that's our frame base with our corners on. Next, what I've done is I've taken a piece of the olive card that I've used for the layers previously, and I've run that through the die cutting machine, the embossing folder, and I'm just going to add a row of glue at one side, and I've got one of the silver flourishes from the Silver Flourish kit, and I'm going to stick that to one side of our embossed card, and then I'm going to do exactly the same at the other side. Add a row of glue and add a second one of the flourishes. I've already added 3D foam to it. Just make sure they're straight. That's how it's going to look. And I'm just going to peel the back of the tape off while they start taking hold with the glue. Now I'm doing this for quickness with the tape. Obviously you would let this dry first, but I wanted you to see how I sort of put it all together, and then now you get the full effect rather than just me saying, oh, and this is what I did and here it is. So let's just peel back off. Oh, and last couple. There we go. So once it's dry, you add it to your card, and I'm going to add it on a little bit of an angle, about there I would say, and press it down. The next thing I've got is I've die cut a silver heart and I've stamped the word love on it. Now this is one of my own dies. I'll put the details at the bottom, and I'm just going to place it at the bottom of our flourish, so it sort of looks as though it's joined, but it isn't. The next thing I've got are the sentiments. So the sentiment I've picked is one of Anna's, and it says, I've fallen in love many times, always with you. So I've stamped that out and I've matted it onto the same colour card as our corners and onto a matching paper back, and I'm simply going to pop that across the centre of our embossed panel, trying to make sure it's roughly straight. The next two things I've got is from the paper that we used at the back, I've cut out twice 2 layers of flowers, and I've added 3D foam on them to make our own decoupage, and I'm going to place one of the flowers at the top, and then the second one I've got are the larger of the flowers on the paper, and again I've cut out the flowers twice and used 3D foam on them to make a decoupage piece. And I'm just going to place the second one at the bottom, roughly about there. And the last thing I've got to finish off our card is a tiny weeny little cute bow, and I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on the back of the bow, and I'm going to pop it just above the heart like that, and that finishes off our card perfectly. So I hope you've enjoyed this demonstration, and if you've got any comments, like I said before, please feel free to add them at the bottom in the description box. Will be all the details. The card we've just made on our comparison sizer, it's a 7x5, and I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. Oops, wrong way. There we go. So this is our comparison chart that we now use, and this was a 7x5. So it's just smaller than the A5, or if you're in the US, that's going to be A3, and it's just above in the US, that would be the A2, but in the UK it's an A6. So that's our card, and that's the size. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.